experimenting and working and touching and playing with new materials and materials that just arrived in the studio, you know. I just wanted to really like be focused in all this idea of like experiment with the material and really like playing with one single shape. Then just by adding like the material on it, just the chair just changed the personality, their mood, no? The collection, let's say, like, is gonna be like around 15 to 20 pieces. So we just all start like at the same time in like many different directions. What I wanted to be like is really like this different direction, start pollinizing one each other to really like create like new hybrids, new pollinization between them. So like maybe we start with the plaster one, but the plaster is having like polluted or by other materials, as it could be like maybe some metal or some branches or some wood that they come from the other section, the other part of the studio where we have been like working with a piece that have been like all massively made out of wood or made out of steel, as we can see here. I mean, so like really like by experimenting at the same time with like many different things, all of them like really like interact between each other, intercross the ideas. Like always, like all my pieces, like they have like very like a strong sense of tactility, and not only by like touching them, like also like it's a visual tactility, you know, like the fascination about texture, having like also something like it having like really like dictating us to really like go and experiment with more and more extreme texture and to see what we can really like get out of them, no? For me, each one have like their own personality, their own character, and they are showing you something, something different. Okay, now we are like standing like in front of this piece. It's still not finished. It's just still in process. It will have like also a texture in the outside. It's made with a black MDF. Carved by like with the flex machine, like all the powder that we just collect from saving the piece. What we just reuse it. We just use it to give like the final touch in the piece, just creating like a really like almost textile and very tactile finish on it. And that's how like we just like keep generating ideas for the next piece, for the next piece or for the same piece. How like all of them they hybridate or like how like they fusion, you know. This is like a piece made of porcelainic plaster. The idea of this piece is like really like it's just talking about time, you know, and how like things are built by layers of time. Every single layer is just a frame of time. The idea is like this piece, it will like start breaking off and peeling off, like really like, and the user, it can really rediscover what it was behind these layers, no? It's like kind of like bringing out your mask until you just reach the middle part. Okay, this is the piece that we were talking before, you know, that it's gonna be made out of glass. And it is like this hybridation between like what could be like something natural or imitating nature and imitating things that we find in urban atmosphere. It will be like it's made out of epoxy and covered with all the glass around in a very sharp, pointy way. In the space, like also it will be like presented kind of an installation of how different, about like a process of how to ink or color like ceramics. So it will be like these big containers where like pieces are like being colored in like many different ways. The idea of the chairs and the idea of the installation of the kettles, I think like they really are very well linked, and they really are speaking about the same thing, about this idea of like really like transforming, changing and adapting.